What do you have in mind?
Well, we're going to go see Kick-Arse 2 today, so I thought, why don't we talk about Kick-Arse, the graphic novels, because I just read them both, thanks to you, and then I thought if we talk about what we're hoping the movie's going to deliver, and then when we get back, when we're all popcorn up, well, I'm popcorn up and you've had anti-cold, we can talk about whether the movie delivered and in what ways it was different from the graphic novel, if that's relevant. Just generally talk about the whole package now. And I think you should go first because I said... Because you've read them more. And
well, I mean, I'm hoping it's what the first movie was, basically. You know, like that was funny, well put together.
Yeah.
The only thing, a little bit hesitant because I think the second movie, the second book kind of gets a little heavy.
Much more violence, civilians getting killed and
a little
fathers and
very out there sort of, and I think I've already heard some that they're not going to have the rape or whatever, which I kind of you don't really.
Yeah, I don't want to see it.
You don't want to see it, but it's like just it kind of it's passable in the book.
Yeah,
a little bit.
It's only ever dealt with very, very briefly. They sort of mention it.
Yeah, you don't really. It's just teenage kids, for fuck's sake. Like, like the way the movie is done, they're fucking high school students. It's all a bit. Yeah.
You don't want that heavy duty. Because then there's aftermath. There's consequences for that. You know what I mean? I mean, people die, but in the first one, it's no one that we really care about. Is anyone?
That's risky.
Good guys dying? No. Just that dickhead at the start with the.
Yeah, he dies.
Luckily, that's got me. But in the second one, a couple more people, a couple of friendlies. Taken out.
Yeah, it all gets very heavy on that side of things. So it'll be interesting to see how they tackle that, and if they can still make it as fun or as funny. Yeah. Considering where that goes.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot more as well. There's a lot more good guys, a lot more bad guys, and they all have this massive brawl in the street.
Big struggle, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of like Batman 3. Where the cops walk down the street and the bad guys have all their guns out and then all the guns disappear and it turns into a splat fight and no one gets hurt. Oh, Matthew Modine gets hurt and everyone else is okay. It's interesting. I thought the second graphic novel was better than the first one. And the movie for the first one I quite liked, but as I said to you before, last week I think it was, I thought the movie for the first one ruined the graphic novel for me, having read it after I'd seen the film.
When I was reading, I can.
Do you know what I mean? Because I thought the movie was so tight and well scripted and funny and packed with bits and pieces and colour.
Just you're going back and reading the script or something.
Exactly right. It's like a step backwards. It's like if you. I was going to say Lord of the Rings. That's not true. That's still an epic tale. But you do picture Viggo Mortensen when you read the book.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Those sorts of images that you might have drawn yourself have now been.
I mean, that's 100% why I scurried to read Lord of the Rings before the movie. For that reason, I didn't want a picture. And that does happen. You can't. There's no way out. You can't not picture.
I'm reading.
Played the part.
Oh, absolutely. Especially when it was so monstrously phenomenal. Like it's hard to break away from it. I'm reading Sherlock Holmes stories for an English course I'm doing, and I keep changing between Jude Law and Iron Man and fucking Khan and Bilbo. You know what I mean? It's sort of like which guy is this?
I guess with a character like Sherlock Holmes, because it's a little bit different because it's so. I just picture a guy with that funky hat. Sort of like English, English looking dude. Because it's it's a little bit less of a. But it's still that issue that you can't just make it up completely.
Yeah, you can't draw your own. Yeah. You can't go, Gary Sinise would be good in it. Who the fuck talks about Gary Sinise anymore? He was on telly twice.
He's good.
I don't know him anymore. He's in Snake Eyes and he was in Forrest Gump same night on telly. Yeah. And I kept flicking through trying to get away from him and he was fucking following me through. Anyways, Kick-Arse. So look, the first graphic novel, like I say, the movie was for me a lot better of an experience. The second graphic novel was more full on and more brutal and more MAR rated, Like it was more blood and guts and killing and death and swearing. and I'm hoping the movie is a bit similar because it is MA as well.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping there's a bit of that in there. But I still don't feel as excited about the graphic novel as I did when I was younger and I read them. So I'm not too sure what the disconnect is. And I was thinking it's because they talk about how everyone wants to be Dave Lazowski, everyone wants to be a superhero or whatever. I'm like, I really don't. I'm just not. I just don't. And I thought maybe that's why, or maybe a bit older now. I'm not as, I just wasn't too sure. But all the colours are there, the art's there. John Romita Jr. does a good job. The writing's really good.
Yeah.
I don't know his other works, but I know that...
Well, he's always started... Well, not his... Mark Millar, he's done a lot of the... He's done X-Men and whatever else. He's done all the sort of... He's worked on all those things. But in his own little world, they're all these very subversive, not superheroes...
Right.
type stuff.
Right.
And Kick-Arse is probably the best of the bunch.
Okay.
That I know of. At least most popular.
Yeah.
Because, he's playing on that sort of outcast, trying to be superheroes and showing, well, if, this is what would happen to you, if you try to dress up in a costume, take on the mob or whatever.
It's a bit more real world.
Yeah. It's not just fucking parody or something, But
because you weren't 100% on the books when we talked about it.
Well, they're good. I like them for what they are.
Yeah.
I don't know that they're amazing. Like I said, the thing with the movies is I think I watched the first movie on fucking DVD or whatever. It wasn't a big... Yeah. I'm pretty sure I did. What I mean, it's a little bit of a cult sort of a thing. I don't even... I know it was at the cinema, but I don't remember.
Yeah, only very brief, like 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Yeah. It wasn't a big thing. And now the second one, because it became a little bit of a cult hit, made its money back on DVDs and whatever else, right? Yeah. Now it's been given everyone's supposed to know what it is. It's like Kick-Arse 2 at the cinema. And
it's on the side of buses and stuff, which is weird because for the rating that it's got, not everyone's going to be able to
for what it is. You can't take your kids to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not if it's even like the first one, you can't.
No, with the graphic violence and a bit of the swearing and stuff. Because I know we've talked about it before with movies that are M-rated. And I'm always saying they should be MA so you can put all that stuff in so you can see the blood and the violence. It's not necessarily about seeing all of that carnage. It's just about being able to do what's required in the world.
Yeah, and fulfill that story.
And the first one very much did that. And I'm hoping the second one doesn't get...
That's why, and when you speak to people about the first one, it's people our age.
Yeah.
It's not... And this is the thing, it's on the side of buses, fucking school buses.
Yeah.
It's not for that audience.
Yeah,
so I'm wondering, we go today, are there going to be 15 kids sitting in front of us making a fucking racket?
Yeah.
That shouldn't be watching this film.
No.
Because they're not...
Because they're not 15 and above. No adult supervision.
Or will there be token weekend dad taking his kid and their 15...
This is totally a movie that my weekend dad would have taken me fucking 3 times, as long as you don't have to show your ticket 3 times. We would have just been sneaking around going... He used to take me to the pet shop and tell me it was the Zoo Man. Fucking hell, this is... You know what I'm saying? This is exactly up his alley. I'm like, fuck, that's a small line. And he's like, no, that's fine. Anyways, it's one of those things. So I'm hoping it's going to be good. Yeah, it's a different director this time, am I right on saying?
Yeah, Matthew Vaughn directed the first, and he's off doing something bigger and better.
Did he do X-Men?
Well, he did the X-Men First Class, I think.
Yeah. I seem to recall that you seem to recall it, so it must be true. What's he doing
So
now?
he's... I don't know, but I think he's...
You can't say that's bigger and better. Hey.
So, I think he's moved on or whatever, and it's... this guy's no slouch either. He's someone half decent. But it will be interesting because I think it's obviously a trickier thing to do. And if they're going all out with the marketing, then, and it has received a lot of attention, I don't think it's done that well in the States, apparently.
Oh, okay.
It released last week, and
I'm avoiding all that until after we see it, because I tend to find that you get a bit too much information.
Oh, no, I mean just the numbers. I'm not saying I don't know about anything about the film.
Oh, okay.
So I just meant the box office or whatever.
Because Jim Carrey came out, who's in it, and said, I can't support this movie because it shows graphic violence, and there was a shooting in America that was...
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be heavy, but he was sort of saying, I'm out of the press junket, I don't want to do it anymore.
That's a bit strange.
I thought it was a bit strange too.
Because
he made the movie, he got paid. Did he give the money back?
But the thing is, when people say that stuff, it's so reactionary. Like, how reactionary are you going to be? Like, there's been things like that in America.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it's been talked about for the last 10 years, Columbine, 15 years, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, so why are you making the film?
Exactly. Why are you going into it?
Yeah. Like, it's all a bit... Like, he made the film after the fucking Batman shootings or whatever, you know, like...
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's
like, I don't really understand his angle at all. You know,
do you think
he made Cable Guy, for fuck's sake? If he's going to not, you know, he's going to apologise about something, you know, like, fucking hell.
Because he's done some good movies, and he's done some absolute shockers. I'm hoping this is going to be a good movie.
Yeah.
I didn't get the previews for the film I've seen, and the character in the graphic novel don't seem to me to be an exact marry-up. He sort of seems to be delivering it really over the top, whereas in the book I kind of got him more as a grounded sort of normal dude, not a wacky...
Yeah, and I mean, I think they've also, from what I remember in the book and from the trailers, I could be wrong, I think they've combined him.
Oh, there's two guys in the graphic
brothers?
Yeah, the brothers,
ex-mob Stars and Stripes or whatever, like Colonel Stars and Sergeant Stripes or something like that.
I think the dog was called something. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
I think, I don't know, we'll see.
Well, yeah, we'll find out the film.
But it looks like he's playing a
conglomerate
of those two guys.
Yeah, okay.
And over the top because it's not... It's Jim Carrey, I guess.
Because it's the mask.
They're trying to heighten it. Yeah.
Okay, this might be boring shit.
Yeah, that sort of thing. So, you know, it will be interesting. But, yeah, I mean, it's just interesting that they're going at it as if it's a Batman 2, Superman 2. Yeah. You know, like it's not. It's Kick-Arse 2. It's a little cult, adult film.
Yeah. Should be on at a dandy, not a event like Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Lunchtime it's on.
Yeah.
Can't believe that we're getting... There's a few screenings and stuff as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see how... Like, I can't imagine it's going to be a big hit just on the... Because the first one wasn't.
Yeah, true.
Like, not in that way, anyway.
It did the job for the people who wanted that movie, but those people...
We were talking about those niche markets.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's, you know, let it be for a niche market. You know, it's for people who can handle... fucking like a 12-year-old girl killing a bunch of dudes with extreme violence and, you know,
Nicolas Cage
shooting. Getting Nicolas Cage.
I was just thinking about his acting, but the shooting and stuff pretty bad as well.
12-year-old girl in the chest and it's training her to kill people and, you know, like it's only okay for an adult audience, this film.
Yeah.
Because that stuff you need to be... You need to understand what you're watching. I think, Like it's, you know, it's not...
a hyper satire.
Yeah.
You know, it's well over the top of what you'd expect. Here's a question, and this might be a bit too clever for a Sunday morning. Where did Kick-Arse come out in the spectrum of Batman, Superman, like X-Men, Spider-Man, probably more so? Was it halfway through this latest release of superhero movies?
The movie.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Has it been catapulted because of the acceptance of superhero culture?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, it came out. It came out after. Have you seen Super? Because that was a similar.
Was that Steven Spielberg?
No.
That's
No. Super is it's very much like Kick-Arse. Normal dude loses his shit, goes out.
Who's in it?
He's a comedian, but I forget his name.
It sounds like I've seen it.
Ellen Page is in it. Kevin Bacon's in it.
It's got really dodgy cover and stuff. Yeah. I've seen it, I haven't watched it.
Yeah, it's actually quite funny and very similar to Kick-Arse.
Is it Woody Harrelson?
No.
Okay.
No, I forget the guy's name, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, if it's not Woody Harrelson,
dig around on Google, but let's not worry about it. Yeah. In any case, it came out like the year after that, so they're both in the last 5 to 10 years. you know. Less, probably 5 years will cover it, I think.
For Kick-Arse?
For both, yeah.
And Super, yeah.
So, and I think, so that's after, you know, X-Men 1, which kicked off fucking all this shit.
Yeah.
I think.
Is it after 3 as well?
Yeah, potentially, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, but, well, you know, definitely post...
Yeah, and
comic book
Batman 1.
Yeah, Superman 1. And,
I'm just trying to think of where it slots in. You know, obviously it's before Man of Steel, it's before Iron Man 3, before the Avengers.
Yes.
And then before First Class, X-Men First Class, maybe?
Well, yes, because the director did. So just before that.
And then he went, okay. So that's where it sits in the landscape of sort of superhero cinema.
So it's definitely, you know, it's not an accident that we're...
No, absolutely not.
Seeing it.
I just wasn't sure what its predecessors were. Like, what could it be said to be influenced by? And I don't think there's really anything because it's so over the top. It really is just a graphic novel. Yeah, but I wasn't sure if it was...
But again, you know, Michael lies in that world and he's reacting to the world he's been working in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's clearly... He's got his own style. I mean, his other one, Wanted, was made as a movie first.
Yeah.
Which is similarly, well, not the movie, but the book is similar to Kick-Arse.
Okay.
It's like, in certain ways, a little bit more gratuitous.
Right, okay.
And like, a bit kind of too much.
Yeah. Because I haven't read it or seen the movie, so I can't...
The movie, but they're not, and the movie's not...
Totally different.
Yeah, so they kind of went somewhere else with it. It starts off like frame by frame and then just goes off on a different tangent.
Yeah, fair enough.
But... Yeah, so this is definitely going to be interesting to see how they make it accessible, or if they've tried to make it accessible, and how that plays out. But yeah, Ben Affleck's not in it.
Well, more's the pity, because isn't that the big news of the last couple of days?
Yeah, I think if we're talking about comics and we don't bring that up, we're gonna
Ben Affleck
playing Batman.
Playing Batman. Yeah. Do you have a problem with it? Tell me if you do.
No, I mean, well, I don't. Considering we ripped an asshole into the first film.
Yeah.
The other week.
Man of Steel. Yeah.
Like. Ben Affleck being Batman in it isn't...
Oh, yeah, because it's Man of Steel 2, Man of Steeler, and then Batman's in his movie. It's not like its own. It's not Alien vs. Predator for DC.
It's essentially, Superman 2.
Who would be better than Ben Affleck?
You see, if they were smart...
Yeah.
Well, they are smart, and that's why Ben Affleck's going to be in it. But if they were, like, more artsy...
Yeah.
And it wasn't about business. I was thinking about it, like, it'd probably be better if they had, like, fucking Viggo Mortensen or something.
Older
someone older who can be in shape still but look older, someone who's kind of, because Ben Affleck looks 13, even though he's 41 or whatever. Like, so they can't be, they say they're going with the older angle, but Ben Affleck
they're not.
Yeah, he looks fucking, he's got a,
Degrassi Junior High looking sort of motherfucker.
But then they could have played with an older Batman and, literally just been an older dude who's smart and rich and powerful and influential and not a guy in a suit and a cape.
Yes.
But I don't think they can do it.
Yeah, it'd be good if he was more influential and less hands-on. And he was just sort of manipulating Superman's, like they were working together and he was kind of shaping into... Because he's only new to the planet and Batman's been around.
Well, I think they're going with the... I mean, we don't know for sure, but I think they're going with the against each other kind of angle to begin with. I think... I can see... I got this thing where Batman's going to be against Superman and then Lex Luthor's going to come into the picture and then Batman's going to fucking turn around and side with Superman or something like that.
So who's going to be Lex Luthor?
I don't know. If he's in it, I don't know.
So I'm just trying to think, because if the casting choices are the villain's got to be a star, right? Because no one knows who Henry Cavill.
Oh, I know, yeah.
So the villain's got to be someone it's got to be fucking Morgan Freeman.
Yeah,
he'll narrate it. But it'll be Bruce Willis or it'll be someone.
Yeah, big. Oh, but no, it's that Kevin Spacey thing. It won't be Kevin Spacey, but like they'll put someone who's like Jeremy Irons or some shit. You know, like someone who's a proper bad guy.
Kevin Spacey would be good. What about
Kevin Spacey really did him in the shit film, so they went to it.
Oh, he did. That's why I was linking them together. Not that I saw it.
No, I haven't seen it either, but yeah.
Giovanni Ribisi, he would not be good at anything in it. I'm just trying to think of who else fits that.
Yeah.
That realm of being.
But they'll get Mark Strong or fucking whatever. Like they'll get someone,
and he'll fit.
Yeah.
It won't be Russell Crowe, will it? Can you go on record now saying that?
Well, they can't. Well, they.
He's a hologram, and he's a bad hologram. Maybe he's got a virus and corrupted his data, and now he's a prick. Just to go. I mean, the reason I wasn't that shocked by Ben Affleck being in it. I mean, all the kerfuffle was all bullshit. That's just Twitter. Like, I mean, who cares, right? It's not a story. Yeah.
You know, like all the controversial, whatever. But Ben Affleck, from the business side of things, when they put him in. He's just won a fucking Oscar for Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Like, it's all ties in.
Yeah, sure.
Like, it's all, at the end of the day, it's all work.
Yeah.
This isn't fucking the playground. It's like,
we
know him, he learns his lines, he rocks up on time.
People like him.
Yeah, we put him on a 4-picture deal with other, he's going to be in our other films for fucking no money or blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like, it's all a nice, neat package. So, people can't get that shocked over it.
Well, I just can't think of who else they put out who's got the physique, who's a bulky dude, because Christian Bale was a bulky dude and he was quite muscly and stuff. I mean, I'd like to see him do it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Him a bit older, like at the start of the
movie. That ship's kind of sailed.
What's he going to go on and do?
Yeah. No, not because he...
Terminator 8?
They could have easily fit Nolan's thing into this Superman world.
Yeah.
But they kind of just need to think about it a little more.
So they're actually not gonna. They're going to be separate franchises.
Oh,
sorry, I thought they were going to be semi-linked.
No.
So we're not going to see Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Robin.
No.
We'll see Justin Timberlake or some fucking thing.
Well, yeah.
Like it'll be something along those lines.
Yeah. No, it's got that whole Batman thing is.
Is that done now?
Yeah, this Batman is different.
It kind of annoys me because we just had it. It was just there.
Yeah, like, we're in ADD society now. Like, we're going to reboot it.
I'm not fucking ADD.
Reboot it. Yeah.
They rebooted it after Tim Burton, and then which needed it because it went into those other two movies that were a bit crappy.
Yeah.
And then Nolan came out and went right and made a couple of real crackers.
Yeah.
And then he's lost it a bit. And now it's got to be rebooted. In 2 years or 3 years since the last one.
Yeah.
Whole new wipe the slate. That's kind of insulting.
Well, that's why this Batman has to be different. It's either someone older. But they could have. I think that last Batman film, without talking about it too much, was so fucking grounded.
Yeah.
That you can't now put that Batman.
No, you're right.
In it, like that Batman Begins. Superman could have landed in the middle of that fucking mess on Arkham Island, and it wouldn't have seemed out of place.
No, probably would have.
Yeah, it would have fit.
Would have been welcomed. Wow, fucking Superman.
Yeah, but where those films went after that, you kind of
didn't. Yeah,
it just.
Whereas the Marvel films went further up, skyward, alien invasion, nuclear weapons, whatever.
Never.
Batman ones went down. Now we're just dealing with 3 mobsters and a dog and fucking Michael Caine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not real.
But just, everything was very down to earth.
Yeah, and I fucking hate that thing.
Yeah. So, we'll talk about that a whole nother.
Yeah, I need to get my head straight because I'm going to be really angry when we watch that. We're going to watch it, I think, and talk about it as it's on.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Oh, mate, I'm going to just swearing. Just swearing. It's so frustrating. But okay, so obviously Dean Norris as the Penguin wouldn't have to do a lot to him. Maybe just a monocle and he'd be right. He's the right shape. He's got the right look. Big nose. Ben Affleck, fine with that. I mean, you could put Jennifer Garner in as Lex Luthor. She's quite masculine, really. I don't know. Who are they going to get?
So, who knows? It'd be interesting to see where that film goes, how it goes, how it plays out, who's the bad guy, what the story is going to be. It's all too soon to say.
Yeah.
Whether Batman's fucking in it for one scene, for fuck's sakes, on a video screen. Like, who the fuck knows at this point, really? So it's all the kerfuffle's just funny because I think everyone's I thought everyone knew that movie was shit anyway.
No, people loved it.
Yeah, so
people lost their fucking minds. I didn't understand, and they still talk about it like it was a good
so
movie.
when they're saying the Ben Affleck, I'm kind of sitting all that. Man of Steel was fucking rubbish anyway, so who gives a fuck?
So what are you going
to do? Ben
Affleck
can't make it any worse, you know what I mean?
It seems like the people, the fans or the whatevers, the diehards are reacting to the name Ben Affleck as opposed to what he's actually done. Yeah. Fair enough, Daredevil wasn't the best, and that's okay, but not all of his movies are the best. Yeah. But what's he done lately? Yeah. I mean, he's directed 3 films that are all pretty fucking good. They're all pretty solid. His acting's, he's done well in the last few things he's been in.
Yeah, he's acting better. I mean, but that's the thing. Like I said, I don't know. I've never really had a problem with him. Only other than really shit films like fucking Pearl Harbor or whatever.
Yeah,
but that's not.
It's not him, though, is it?
Yeah, that's because he's shown that when he's doing the films he's directed, they're actually quite.
Well, it's kind of like Brad Pitt, how he does that one movie and then he does a great off the wall fucking movie, then he does the one for the ladies, and then he does the next one's always amazing. Like Seven and Fight Club in between. There's some rom-com fucking Friends episode or something. You know, I mean, like he's got that sort of thing.
So I mean, but like I said, for me, Ben Affleck, it's not that. It's just like he looks young.
He's not the right guy for
baby face. He's not the right guy for what I was hoping they were going to do with Batman.
Yeah, I want to see a dude who looks like he's made out of granite. Like he's just because the Brave and the Bold, or even the Batman.
Just been around for ages, and that's why I'm thinking Eastern Promises, Viggo Mortensen kind of, just a little bit fucking.
I watched History of Violence the other day.
Yeah,
that's fucking. He's good in that. Really. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah. One more piece of news, Ben Affleck, fuck with him. One more piece of news for you that I'm not too sure if you're aware of. Yeah. Iron Man. Yeah. Any idea who possibly is going to take over the reins of Iron Man? Have you heard anything? I have.
What have you heard?
I've heard.
Yes.
You don't know, do you? You got no idea.
Is the Iron Patriot going to take over?
No, it's not fucking Don Cheadle.
Pepper Potts.
They can't handle the suicide. Pepper Potts did in the 3rd minute. She was fucking Iron Man. No, they're not going to get. There's rumours and talking.
Right.
Mark Wahlberg. Don't vomit.
So is he Tony Stark?
That's the room, like the talk. It's not.
No,
no one's approached anyone.
No, so you're saying that it's the same character, different actor.
Yeah, and that's the actor. Inverted commas.
Fucking kill him off.
I don't know. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the new Iron Man will be.
Because it does say at the end of the film, Tony Stark will return, and it's a bit cryptic in itself.
Because it doesn't say Iron Man will return.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Tony Stark could turn into a bit of an administrator for the Avengers, and this is where you need to have read 20 years of Avenger comics, I suppose.
Yeah, it's all a bit. Yeah.
I'm just going to, honestly, mate, I'm not going to get worked up about it. I'm just going to close my eyes and wait for it to
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it is what it is. I just got news this morning that one of my favourite characters, Lobo, is being redesigned. Did you see that shit? And did you see they made him into the guy out of fucking Twilight?
Yeah.
And someone else goes above me. Lobo's based on Lemmy when he was an ice fiend.
Yeah.
And yes, he is. Yeah. With the rings and the chains and all that stuff. Now you're going to redesign him into a fucking wafer-thin, weird little...
It's this whole... Why isn't that just a different character? Why isn't that Limbo Man? Like, this is what, we were talking about Star Trek the other week. It's the same thing. Just do something else.
Just do something different.
Because Lobo has a niche market.
Yeah. Very niche.
Yeah. Just let them have their thing, or stop doing it, and let it become an old cult thing or whatever.
Well, see, Lobo comes back, disappears, comes back, disappears. Yeah. They collect like 4 issues together and put it in a thing. And it's not a running character.
Yeah.
And the character himself doesn't really appear in, like, he's on that video game Injustice, but only as a downloadable
right,
extra skin. He's not like a main.
Yeah.
He's not. I mean, they've been talking about a Lobo movie for a while. It was Guy Ritchie, and then he's like, it's going to be M-rated, blah blah blah, and everyone just went, well, fuck off. We don't want to know because it's not. If you've ever read any Lobo books, it's full on, and it's good. That's what it should be because that's a niche thing. Yeah. It doesn't all have to be fucking teddy bears and cuddles.
That's right.
We can just have something for some people and something else for other people.
That's why it's a strange thing. And if it's like it's that whole it needs a refresher, it needs a reboot. Why? Just end it and do something.
Do something different.
If you don't want to invest any more money in it, just fucking stop
it. Yeah. It doesn't need to just be rehashed. Yeah. But it's just the name.
Yeah.
I mean, the stories in that particular comic, the Lobo ones are all quite standalone. He had a running series, but it didn't last huge amounts of time. Just redo, like you say. Just say, this is Lobo's son. He's fucking likes the Cure. Because that's what he looks like. He looks like the kind of guy. Yeah. He's a cutter, and one episode is going to be him just cutting into his arm and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
it's...
I don't know. Disappointing news on a Sunday. Anyways, Kick-Arse.
Let's go and watch this film. And then we'll do the other half or... Whatever it takes of this little conversation. So there'll be a pause.
Yep, unreal.
And then we'll go from there.
Hey, whoa, absolutely not. Hey, whoa, no.
Look, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it.
I don't want to do it.
Fine.
God damn it! Oh, that was amazing!
I know, right? So, you gonna go again?
God, no. Absolutely not. Please. Don't just say fine and then shoot me in the chest. That's not cool. Like at all.
Okay. Jeez. They may wear costumes, but it isn't Halloween. They're real-life superheroes. I'm Hey Girl.
I'm Kick-Arse.
You're a good guy. Try to. Otherwise, what's the point?
A wolf of superheroes. Where do they get a load of me? I'm gonna make Kick-Arse pay for what he did to my dad. I'm building an evil army. Who is this guy? He's going to be the world's first real supervillain. We're putting an end to this costume freak. If they're wearing a mask, they're getting detained.
Promise me that you will never dress up in that outfit again.
Kick-Arse isn't a costume. It's who you really are. My daddy made me promise I'd never stop defending this city.
You gotta make this right. The anticipation's killing me. There's no room for punks and suits. Just real heroes. Who can really kick ass.
Game on, bitches!
You and me, like Batman and Robin.
Okay, Robin wishes he was late.
So we're back from seeing Kick-Arse 2, depending on how you want to say it. And we've got some thoughts, as we always do. And we've read the graphic novels, and we're going to see whether it measured up to what we might have thought, what we might have expected. Chucking it over to you first to see what you thought, and then I'll just agree. You've summed it up right there.
Yeah,
that's it. It's exactly it.
I don't feel that strongly about it, regardless of what we say now. It's like, it was enjoyable. It's worth checking out.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the better comedies you're going to see this year.
Very funny.
Very funny.
For a superhero action-y sort of film.
Yeah, so we were discussing kind of before we left, how are they going to make it accessible, because this Kick-Arse was a cult little thing, dealt with very graphic violence, you know, obviously stylized and over the top.
Swearing and the whole works.
Yeah. How are they going to make this a movie that's on bus posters? And that's how they did it. And they turned it into a college humour movie with girls and guys and
Yep.
jocks and nerds and all those sort of
Which we haven't ever seen before, so.
and that's how, and they took bits that were little bits in the comic around that stuff
Okay.
and turned them into big parts of the story.
Okay.
That's and you go, oh, well, that's how they've solved the why are people watching it in the cinema.
Yep.
Problem was there was 5 people in the cinema.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
the experience, it would have been more enjoyable. You would have come out going, "Hi, it was so funny because everyone in the cinema was laughing."
There was an atmosphere.
Yeah. Which you kind of thought that's what that movie was aiming
Yeah.
for.
I always find when you're watching a comedy, they'll make a joke. I find it at home watching something with someone else. They'll make a joke and I'll go, well, that wasn't very funny.
Yeah.
But someone else will laugh.
Yeah.
And you say, okay, well, that joke was for those people.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And these jokes are for me and jokes for those guys over there. And that's all fine. But when there was only 5 people in the room, it was not... that sort of didn't happen. I think we laughed the most.
Yeah, probably. But the thing is, the jokes weren't... In the first movie, the things are funny. There's not jokes per se.
Like he sits up wearing that shirt, I hate reboots.
Yeah.
And we laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Because it wasn't a joke, it's just a little funny thing in the film.
Yes.
And no one else sort of seemed to see what we sort of saw.
Like, I was laughing at the fact that he's got his dad's portrait as a still image on a big TV, as opposed to a portrait framed, whatever. Like, I thought that was funny, but that wasn't even in the film. Like, that was like in the background.
Just up in the corner. Because I was looking at you, look at it. Like, his face is on the telly.
Yeah.
Like, it's portrait where, there were strippers in that scene, so...
fair enough. Yeah, it makes sense though.
Yeah. I'm not looking at Mark Strong's cartoon face on the television.
Yeah. But like I said, the first film was situation, like, things were funny.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There was no jokes per se. Like, Mark Strong's character was just funny.
Yeah.
The mafia guys were funny because they were just doing their mafia thing, but they were making mistakes or whatever.
Yeah.
This was going for, these were written jokes.
Setups, punchlines.
So I found that all a little bit out of place in that universe of Kick-Arse, and being fans of the first film, you think this is going to be for you, but now it's for
everybody.
So,
and when that happens, you lose a couple of people along the way. Yeah. I don't think it necessarily lost us.
No,
I think we're still on board and fans. We buy it when it comes out.
But it's not way out there. There's a third one coming, clearly.
Don't ruin it. Oh, no.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, I know. I've got a spoiler for you. You're adopted. How's that? That's a fucking life spoiler. Don't worry about the movies. Your mum never loved you. Spoiled. Look, there's a post-credits scene. Yeah. It's not worth waiting for. It's exactly what we said it was going to be. Yeah. You turn to me and you go, his leg's a bit off, and I said, yeah, his leg's a bit off. And then, but we have to sit through 2 shit songs to get there.
Yeah. The one thing that it sort of disturbed me a little bit. There's something in the prequel comic.
Because I haven't read that.
Yeah, I'm not going to sort of ruin it or anything, but you learn about Mindy, sort of, what she's going through in between the end of Kick-Arse after her dad dies, and she moves in with her foster dad, whatever he is, and this. The second Kick-Arse book. It's a little thing. So she's going through kind of, high school stuff and still being hit girl, but without her dad knowing. And in that, most of that is about her being hit girl and her dad not knowing about it, and how she has to keep fighting the mafia after her dad's passed away. Right? What they've turned that into, they've taken 3 pages out of that and turned it into this whole Mean Girls subplot where she's becoming
one of the cool
teenage cool girl, but it's like an adolescence story thing, and I found it all a bit fucking disturbing.
Yeah,
because in the last film she was cute because she was like 5 or whatever, and she's taken on mafia guys and cutting them to pieces and whatever else.
Yeah,
it's kind of charming. It was like a little funny.
That was
the
interesting.
Joke.
Yeah. anything she does and says is funny because she's so small and cute and
Yeah.
a kid. Yeah,
Yeah, now she's like 14.
yeah,
And all the girls, the friends were all 14.
Yeah.
And I just, it was a bit uncomfortable.
Well, it turns into not a movie you would go and see then, doesn't it? Because we're talking about 14-year-old girls having 14-year-old girl problems.
Right.
Periods.
Yes.
For example.
Yeah.
And that's not something we're going to go and pay $84 to go and see at the movies.
Right.
So automatically you've got a half an hour mini film in the 2-hour greater film that's not particularly interesting.
Yeah, but I also found like a bit, now it's gone a bit fucking weird here, but like I found that they took the rape scene out.
Yeah.
Great, good on you.
Yeah.
But I felt just as fucking uncomfortable with
that chick dancing.
The girl dancing.
Yeah.
Them getting wet over the fucking boy band. It wasn't funny. It was just a bit
awkward.
Yeah, and the girl doing this sort of strip tease.
That was not
whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
So
the mum in front of us wasn't sure,
but they were trying to sexualize the girls.
When they're only so young.
Yeah, it was a little bit. And the thing is, sometimes it's like, well, it doesn't matter, they're 35 years old in real life. Yeah. But they weren't. And they weren't in the film. So, and there is a bit of, like, I've read about this a little bit, in that there's been some, comments on fucking forums and...
Well, they'll all be correct then.
Where it's...
Sorry, I do know what you're
saying. People are kind of alluding to, she's hot and this and that. It's like, but she's fucking 12.
Yeah.
Like it's all very...
They're all hot at 12. Yeah. I know. I get what you're saying. I do know what you're saying. I do know what you're saying. So it was weird. All of a sudden, she's got a box hanging out. Yeah. And she's shaking it around. Yeah. And it's like, can I see someone kicking some ass? Is that what it says?
Can we just decapitate hitmen and stuff? Because this is all a bit strange. I don't know why it's going there. Didn't need it. Again, it's good that they kind of put a bit more arc into Hit Girl's story, but it's Kick-Arse 2.
Yeah. Not Hit Girl 1.
Yeah.
And the arc was quite flat. Like, it didn't... nothing really came of that.
No.
She sort of discovered...
It could have happened in 2 pages.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
The mean girls are teasing her. Yep. And she...
zaps them with that stick or whatever.
Yeah, and that could have been it. Or it's a bit different again in the prequel comic, but essentially that's it. It could have just been really bang bang. It didn't need to do the whole... whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah. Because you want to know that she's ostracised. You want to know that she doesn't have a sense of belonging in a community and a school environment that she wants to be at, which is why she doesn't go to school.
Right.
She goes and does the crime fighting.
And we didn't see any of that.
We didn't see any of that. And there is a reason why she's not there. Yeah. Not only does she want to do what her and her dad started, she wants to finish that off, but she also doesn't want to be at school for the other reason of everyone's being a prick and she doesn't want to deal with that. Yeah. So to suddenly stop and deal with that side of the thing instead of the other was a bit...
Yeah, if they were going to take anything from that prequel, it should have been what she was doing when she wasn't at school, and they didn't really get into any of that. And whatever, really. I mean, it's not... I just found that whole segment a little strange. Everything else, fucking copy-paste straight out of Kick-Arse 2 almost.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a few straight from the comic book scenes that were quite good. Like you said, I'm glad that they didn't deal with the rape scene. I'm glad that they handled that well. It was sort of funny and stuff like that. And, because that's not what you go to a comic movie to deal with.
Yeah, it would have just been
ruined.
Fucking way too weird.
Yeah. And they handled Dave's dad dying pretty good as well. Yeah, because it wasn't a long, drawn-out... You saw a photo of him, you knew what had happened.
Yeah, but it's funny because it was pretty... They did... That's the thing, that it's such a different movie to the first one. Like, the more you think... Like, the first one you see, like, the whole Nicolas Cage being tortured for half an hour or something,
He had his own Mean Girls sort of thing going on. They were all picking on him for being
I think that, for me, if you're comparing the 2 films, the first one was very much... Let's make this film because it's like, we want to make it this way. No one's watching us make it. We're going to do what we want to do. It's going to be, it's like Fight Club or something. We're just going to make the film we want to make. no one's really worried. It's like small budget.
No one's involved.
Yeah.
We're not getting notes and suggestions.
And it just kind of worked. You know, it was really punchy. The story didn't stop and go somewhere. Just it was quirkier, and like we were saying before, it's funny because the things that happen are funny. This did feel like it was being pushed and pulled into different directions, and I don't know something that wasn't as violent. It wasn't as fluidly violent. Like it was a little bit more set piece.
I felt it was very set piece. I thought it was quite flabby. Like there were bits that it didn't need to have, and it slowed it down. If there was a director's cut for this, I hope they'd actually cut things out and not put things in, because I think that the first one was so punchy and short and quick, and the whole time it's from go to woe. It's all something is happening. With this one, there was a lot of really tacked on emotional scenes. Like everyone cried at some point, pretty much, and everyone lost something, and that's all heavy duty and needs to be dealt with. But it did take a long time to get through each person's emotional journey. Yeah,
and it was sort of some not so much plot holes, but just things that didn't really. It's almost there was a scene missing between them. Like he leaves the prison with his uncle, and the next scene they've got Jim Carrey, who did a kick-ass job.
He was amazing. He was, whatever I said before about not being sure about him, he did really good job. The makeup artist on Jim Carrey, not so good a job. You could see multicoloured prosthetics all over him, but he himself did really well. He's only in it for quite a short amount of time.
Yeah, a lot of cameos. Good cameos. But they basically cut from one thing to them basically finding him. And there didn't seem to be any correlation as to the plot needed them to know who he was to get there quickly, but there wasn't a scene where they
figured it out.
Look him up in the phone book or something. I don't know, like it.
You know, they shot it and they just cut it out, whatever it was. Someone walks in and goes, oh, that looks like the ex.
So they watched some fucking footage or something. They needed.
I know that guy. That's that guy.
Yeah, he used to work for us or whatever.
John Cazale or whatever.
They need. I think. Like I just saw when that scene played out. I went.
How'd you get there?
So
they had to put in all the stuff with the girls,
and then that's the point, right? It's like they put all this other shit in
at the expense of what the movie's sort of meant to be about.
The film, because the first movie had all that stuff, and like one thing led to the other, and you knew why. You know, whether they saw some footage, whether they tortured someone and they found out, or what. It kind of one thing led to the other. This was like take out the connector scenes. So we can extend all this other shit.
And I mean, okay, so sometimes the connecting scenes aren't required 100%. You sort of can gather what's happening. But there needs to be that seed of explanation as to why, just so that it flows nicely. This one was really choppy and changing. Like you said, we've got this set piece and this set piece. How we get them to the next one? Well, we just jam them together. There's no travel in between. There's no journey. It's just bang, bang, two things done.
So, I mean, it did. And then I think there's a couple of stylistic things which were fun, but they weren't carried through. So the whole, like, the speech bubble talking. It happened once, you know, but then not another time, or then they did a different type of thing with the text messages in another scene, like, and it's almost that tacked on, like when you watch Fight Club, it has all those types the whole way through, you know, like they're not the same, but it's stylistically, you know, cutting to the dictionary to show what the word means or whatever. Or
cigarette burns and flashes of his face,
or the catalogue in
his apartment.
Like it carried through the whole film. This did stuff like that every now and then.
Retrofitted, I felt like they shot it and they went, "Oh, this would be a good one." We've got to tick the text message box, which is out of the comic book. We've got to tick that box. Let's put it in this scene. Okay, no worries.
But then this text message is going around
the whole time.
The whole film.
He texted me. It should come up every time. Yeah.
It's,
which is, I think,
Scott Pilgrim does a lot in that world. Like, that movie had heaps of that stuff in it.
I actually thought of Scott Pilgrim a lot in that during Kick-Arse 2, and I'm a big fan of that, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I know a lot of people aren't. Apparently it's not very well received, but I think it's pretty good.
Same amount of people would have liked that than the first Kick-Arse.
Yeah, you're right.
That's a cult little film that some people liked and some people didn't. Like,
it was very clever from a script point of view and from a... I don't know if that's the director necessarily, but it was just a very well delivered film, I thought.
Yeah. What's your mate?
Yeah, he's all right. Yeah. Edgar Wright, we go way back. Yeah. And, you know, Michael Cera, the cokehead. You know, like, and that chick.
The nervous guy, Michael Cera.
Talks really quietly.
He kind of looks down, not sure of himself.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. He plays bass in a band. He tours, I think it's Gomez or something. He tours with some band in America, Canada, or whatever. He's a bass player. So, not acting during the Scott Pilgrim scenes where he has the bass duel. Not his best work, I'm sure, but, you know, it wasn't too bad. But no, look, the movie, that was quite similar to this. Although, like you say, stylistically, Scott Pilgrim carried that through. Like, when he goes to the toilet,
part of the design of the film. Yeah,
it's a video game film in a sense, like there's little things that you see that get at him. When he's running through cutting guys with the sword, it's first person shooter style POV stuff. Whereas whereas Kick-Arse 2 just wasn't 100% through.
Someone threw it out there in post. Hey, why don't we?
Some guy now doesn't have a job. I mean, they're not listening to him anymore. You fucking ruined it. No, it's got to be there the whole time.
Well, it all feels very, I think that's it. It felt forced because they would have gone, look, this movie, you need to be able to watch it without knowing what the fuck the first one was about.
Absolutely.
They almost could have not called it 2, and it would have been better for the marketing.
Yeah, just say this is the reboot. This is the first one. Well, there was so much at the start.
Well, it could have just been called Kick-Arse or something, and you know, and just like
Kick-Arse again,
Kick-Arse and Hit Girl.
Yeah,
and you would, you know,
Shark Boy Lava Girl.
You wouldn't have known that there was a movie before it.
Yep, and
that's it.
Well, I think you probably hit on it there. A lot of people who would probably be going to see this one wouldn't realise, apart from the number in the title, that there was one before it. They might have a vague recollection of something coming out.
And it's no doubt why Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Returns. There's no numbers in that.
No numbers.
Because it's hard enough to get girls or your partner or whatever to go to a comic book movie. It's very hard when it's called 2
and you haven't seen 1.
Star Trek Into Darkness.
Yeah.
And they're never... And I think, and I haven't read this anywhere, but that sounds like smart marketing to me. That's
absolutely.
I would recommend you did that.
Yeah. Look, normally guys who take girls to see this kind of film don't get a second run. So if you go and take her to see Kick-Arse, it's not the same girlfriend when Kick-Arse 2 comes out. So all she's going to be doing is sitting there going, which bitch did you take to see Kick-Arse 1?
Yeah.
It's the same as Windows, like 97, 98... Vista or whatever, like the numbers fucking disappear and turn into just words. So then it's not dated immediately. Which I think is important because although they will reboot it in 3 or 4 years' time anyway. So I don't know.
But that, I just thought that maybe they should have, if it was called Kick-Arse and Hit Girl, it might have made more money at the US box office than it did.
That's probably
it's probably just going to make its money back because I think the budgets are quite low on these films, and they should be. It's not really
not much to it, really.
You know,
there's a couple of CGI, but it was pretty not needed. And
there's nothing. Had a couple of explosions.
And,
it wasn't as epic as the final battle in the first one. In the book.
Oh yeah.
The final is really fucking out there. This all happens in
a warehouse. With the bad guys out of X-Men 3, the bikies that just sort of turn up.
The goth fans. The goth guys.
Look, I think the main point for this movie, for me, is that I just don't really have a huge amount to say about it. Go and watch it if you like comic books, or if you like the first one, or if you like bad music montages, go and check it out. But at the end of the day, it's not a rush out and see it by any means. I mean, buy it when it comes out on Blu-ray, DVD.
That's it. It's all. That's it. Unless you're going to see it in a cinema packed with heaps of people, massive group of friends or whatever, it really kind of loses, I think, what it was going for, which is that Because the first one wasn't that at all.
No.
I didn't think I saw it at the cinema the first one. I'm not even sure I got a release at the fucking cinema yet, to be honest.
I saw it. I was there for about 2 weeks. I caught it.
Okay.
And I watched it in a room on Blu-ray a couple of months ago with 4 people.
Yeah.
And only 3 of them really liked it, and one of them just didn't like it at all. And I figure, okay, that's fair enough.
The thing is, 5 seconds into the first one, you kind of know if you're going to like it or not.
Yeah. This one was a bit weird because it did chop and change so much. Then it was a daddy-daughter story. Then it was a Mean Girls thing.
Yeah.
Then it was a father-son. Then it was an uncle
It wasn't like
motherfucker.
a Kick-Arse
No.
story.
No.
Really.
And all he did was get fucking beaten.
Yeah, and why is he all ripped?
Well, because he was in Savages. Oliver Stone and Savages, and he's a hot guy in Savages.
Yeah.
So people on Facebook start talking about him like he's the next. Like, well, he's not. He's just, yeah. He's an actor. He does a good job. He's an English guy. He does a really good job.
He looks nothing like that in Savages.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
But
Which was a shit film.
Yeah, that's a whole other fucking. Yeah.
We won't be
It
covering
didn't
that.
need to be shit. That's what bothered me.
Yeah, it could have been all right.
Yeah. But yeah, like he's getting his ass whipped, but he looked in the first movie. He didn't get his ass kicked that much.
No,
and he was a dweeb,
Skinny,
you know. And then this film is all buff and trained.
Well, he had training with Hit Girl every day for 3 months or something. He said, and then all that happened was he got fucking clubbed.
Yeah. So,
but like you can overlook that kind of thing. You know what you're in for. Jim Carrey again. I really like. I'll just say that again. It's worth checking out just for him.
Yeah.
But he's only in it very briefly.
Yeah.
And after he leaves the film, he dies.
Yeah.
I'll just
Gets
whatever.
killed.
He gets hammered. Once he dies, you could probably almost go.
Yeah.
Although Kick-Arse in Big Daddy's armour was kind of cool. I kind of enjoyed that. At the end, he had his Big Daddy uniform with Kick-Arse colours on it. I kind of liked that.
That was a little nice little touch.
A little yay moment, like yay. Yeah, but generally it was a bit,
Yeah.
which is a shame.
Where they found that Mother Russia actress. Sorry,
Fucking hell.
that word fucking loosely, but whatever she was, that was a bit fucking scary.
That was heavy duty.
They did that well.
She must be a weightlifter or something. Or
I don't know.
she's not a gymnast. From the Olympics, I mean, like a proper, like an athlete.
Yeah.
She wasn't an actress.
No, you know what I mean.
No, I know what you're saying. I won't be looking her up online.
No.
I'll be looking up Night Bitch online and seeing what her Facebook profile looks like, but I won't be looking up fucking Mother Russia.
She was a bit
Interesting from the comic book where she was ethnically different, and then in this one she was as white as driven snow. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Well, they had to find someone. It's going to, like...
have you got one in black?
Yeah, so
Have
you're
you got
lucky
one
we
with
found
dreads?
this one.
It's Dolph Lundgren's
It was
mum,
good
isn't it?
seeing John Leguizamo, or whatever his name is.
Tybalt from Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks the same.
Was that him?
Yeah, Romeo and Juliet, yeah. Tybalt. He with the guns, the Prince of whatever, and he's got the metal boots, strikes matches and shit. Yeah, John Leguizamo, like you said.
I don't know, he's Luigi in the Mario Brothers movie. That's
Is he?
Yeah.
I fucking have not
Bob
seen that.
Hoskins, mate.
He's
No, he's done better stuff than he's
he's in Ice Age. He's Squid.
Billy Blanco from the Bronx in Carlito's Way.
Yeah, that goes back.
Anyway, it was good seeing him in a film, I guess.
Well, he needed the work, to be honest. I guess his mum was involved somewhere along the line, chucked John a bone, but he did a good job.
Yeah.
Everyone did what they were supposed to do.
So,
I don't know.
let's call it a day on that.
I'll give it a rating just so people can. So out of 5, I'll give it pie. So I'll give it pie out of 5, which is 3.14, whatever.
Yeah,
which is
three-ish in the 5s is
roughly
it's not a 4. The first one's a 4.
First one's a 4, easy.
If you're gonna
Scott Pilgrim's a 4.5 for me.
Okay, well, there you go.
I saw it 3 times.
That's it. The first one's in the 4 to 5 range.
Yeah.
This one's in the 3 to 4.
Yeah.
And because we're not going in there. If this was a fucking Superman movie, or Batman, it'd be a fucking 2.
Oh yeah.
Like the expectation
levels.
versus,
Let me ask you this before we finish up: if this was the first one, would you go back and see a second one? And can I just say as well, that's a fucking good question.
Yeah, it is.
By me.
I don't know, because probably not.
Probably not?
And that's the thing. It's exactly, you're right, like it's... Yeah, it's not the first one. It's not what the first one did.
Yeah.
It's not by a long shot, because we need to branch out.
We need more people.
Yeah, we need
more.
Yeah.
The however many millions we made on the first one aren't enough. We want more.
We're not happy that was a little film that did its thing.
Yeah.
Let's
blockbuster.
It's funny because you can't take that and triple it or whatever. Like that worked for the audience, like we said before.
Yeah.
And that mentality is how you have to make it. And to be honest, I don't know if this has reached the sort of appeal they've gone for. Like,
no, I don't think so at all.
Because it isn't a great, like whatever it is movie either.
Yeah,
like, so it was a good comedy.
Yeah.
But it's not The Hangover or whatever. Like, it's not going to fucking...
No. Those comedies are those comedies for a reason.
Yeah.
And this was a smaller superhero movie for a reason. You can't have a guy dressed in his mum's leathers called the motherfucker and appeal to everybody. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and that's the thing. They couldn't take any of that stuff out.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just the main plot stuff.
Exactly.
So it's a bit it's disjointed. That's it. All right.
Okay. Disjointed.
3 out of 5-ish.
3.14 for me.
3.14,
and other numbers
ish.
926 or whatever. Yeah, not bad. See it if you have to or want to.
Or there's nothing else on it.
There's plenty on.
Grade 2 is probably going to be the same.
Oh, it'd be the same
discussion we're having now.
White House Down's out soon. Going to Smurfs 2. No, look, Kick-Arse 2 is
better than.
But I saw Elysium last week and I really liked it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not.
See that first.
Different. If you.
Don't see Man of Steel, and if you have seen it already, unsee it. Get therapy to unsee it.
Yeah.
Where they punch a city to death, which I think is your line from the other week, which is fucking true. All right, that's it. I got nothing else.
See ya. Good night.